My name is Yeong Kim, and I am professor at UT Austin, and I'm also the principal investigator of Project Dual that I run at UT Austin as well. And today I am so pleased to introduce Danette Hidalgo, who is our December Research Assistant of the Month for Project Dual. And Danette got selected because of her outstanding work on the project. She started with us last spring where she was on our transcription team as a Spanish research assistant. And at the time, Danette really shined. And, I have recap meetings with the transcription lead research assistants. And we always ask, one of the questions I ask at the meeting is, who are the star research assistants this week? And Danette's name came up multiple times. And so I'm so happy I get to honor Danette for her incredible dedicated work on the project. And then the other way Danette shined on our project is working on our OHEDA project, which is our after school community program. And Danette was always, the person who came up with great program ideas and had just such great energy with our with our middle school participants in the OHEDA project. And then because of her outstanding work, she got selected as our OHEDA coordinator for this fall semester. And so because Danette shined in so many different areas, not only in the transcription team, but also in OHEDA and now being the coordinator of that program, we wanted to honor Danette as our December Research Assistant of the Month for Project Dual. So Danette, how did you feel when I messaged you and let you know you got selected? And I'm just curious what your reaction was.
I felt so honored. I was actually in Houston with my boyfriend's family, and so I announced it to them, and I felt so happy for my ability to join this program because I was so scared to join at first,
Oh, really?
and I'm so glad I took the chance to apply, especially as a Spanish RA because I was like doubtful of my Spanish speaking abilities,
Oh
so
my
I
God.
was really proud of myself.
Why were you so doubtful when you were joining or wanting to join?
I just, growing up, like speaking Spanish, I thought I always did it wrong because whenever I would go visit my dad's family, they said I spoke really badly. So, I just thought I didn't speak it very well. So when I learned I was doing the interview in Spanish, I was really nervous.
Okay, well, you did really well. So sounds good. So was your boyfriend's family really excited that you got selected?
Yes, they're so kind. I'm so lucky to have them in my life as well.
Sounds good. So we want to learn more about you. So tell us about your major and your current graduation date.
So I'm a psychology major, a Bachelor of Arts, and I'm graduating this coming May in 2026.
Sounds good. And tell us more about how you got to UT. Was it like a school you always wanted to go to, or you found out about UT Austin kind of late, or just tell us a little bit about your background and your, journey to UT Austin.
I was usually I was out of state, so usually I just heard of UT from my new classmates after I moved here. I started in second grade, so it feels like a long time, but I still feel like I'm from a different state. So I was really new to the concept of all the schools here.
Mm,
And so whenever I was researching schools, I found that UT had a really great psychology program.
yeah.
So I thought it'd be a perfect way to get a great education while also staying close to my family.
I see. And how did you hear about our project? So at the time when you joined, we were called Project Seed and then now Project Dual. But how did you initially hear about the project at that time?
So at first, I believe I was in my Mexican American Studies class, and someone came in to do a presentation. And then I went to my next class, and then someone came in to do a presentation right at that class as well. So I was like, wow, this is a sign I should look into this.
So we went two consecutive classes.
Hmm.
Okay, so if we had not, maybe you would not have joined?
No, I think I would have. I found it very interesting from the first class. I went to go take a picture of the flyer.
Oh, I see, I see. So then
Mhm.
what made you decide to join Project seat at the time?
Well, because of the option to become a Spanish speaking RA, I thought it was a great way that I could use my second language because I don't get to use it very often. And then it's also really like important for me to start doing research just because I know UT is known for their research studies. And I thought it'd be a really great way to introduce myself to that realm of psychology.
Okay. And I know this is your second semester working on my project. Could you say what you did as a research assistant in the past and what you're currently doing as a research assistant on Project Dual this fall?
Yes. So my first semester, obviously, we are getting trained to do interviews effectively and accurately. And so I did that, but I also was able to join the NLP transcription team, and we were able to clean and translate the data collected from previous interviews. So I was able to do that, and then I eventually became a lead for the team. So I helped other RAs just review their cleaning
Mhm,
during the files, and then with the Ojeda program, we helped students learn how to translate and speak better Spanish
mhm,
through fun activities. And so now I'm a coordinator for that thing, for that program. And I'm able to find more ways to introduce Spanish into the activities, even though some of the kids really don't speak Spanish now this year.
mhm. Sounds good. So, what do you like most about being in Project Dual?
I really enjoy being able to give back to my community because I also had to translate for my parents a lot growing up. And I didn't realize that that was something that people struggle with just because I think my parents were very easy on me. But I do realize now that some children do have it a lot harder because their parents don't really speak Spanish in any way.
Mhm,
So it's nice to be able to help future generations because I know your findings will help them learn how to handle the stress that they
mhm.
have in the future.
Sounds good. And what new skills have you developed while being in Project Dual?
Well, when I first came to UT, I had to do a presentation, and I learned that I have a big fear of public speaking. So going through the project, I had to learn to speak to larger groups, and it's been very helpful with all those opportunities. And I also learned to communicate well because I don't want to sound too stern when I'm instructing people to do things. So the leadership roles have helped me a lot in those aspects.
Okay. And how did your experience of working in my research change or possibly not change your view of research?
It changed my view on research a lot. I thought the studies and everything was always done just in a lab with test tubes, but I realized like the importance of field work because it allows the participants of the studies to feel a lot more comfortable in an environment that's familiar to them.
I see. So it was like going beyond just like tubes and chemistry experiments and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, it's like less scary too. I think it helps the findings be more real and applicable to like more populations than just the ones that are able to attend schools to join the studies.
Mhm. Gotcha. And how did your experience at UT change as a result of being in Project Dual?
I initially was just in school with the goal of making my family proud and being a good older sibling to my sisters, just by showing them that it's important to get an education. But I think it gave me purpose outside of that and made me realize my passion for helping others with their mental health is really important for the impact I want to make with society
Mhm.
and not just my family. So it really helped me know that I really need to master the subjects I'm being taught while I'm here.
Mm, I see. So you told me that your future goal is to become licensed social worker, correct? So, and tell me more what that means and how is that different being a licensed master social worker?
Well, the master social worker, I think that's more of a license if you want to work in like the government space or the like school funded spaces. But the licensed clinical social worker is more able to work in a hospital sector, and I wanted to help the pediatrics division of a hospital. So
Mhm.
for that, I do think you would need like the clinical license, just because it deals more with their mental health than other aspects of their life, even though they do help with those aspects, like with being able to have resources for food and education.
Mhm. And so then are you currently, with you graduating in May, applying for social work programs so you can, so what's your plan right now?
Yes, I initially wanted to become a school counselor, but now that I've switched, I've been researching more grad programs for masters in social work. I
Mhm.
found that UT really has a great one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's one of the best in the country.
Yeah, I've heard great things about this one. So I am applying to UT, but I'm also checking just a few other schools just in case. Uh,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to make sure I stay within Texas because I know Texas has um a large Latino population, and I really want to help with that population.
So one thing I'm wondering about is you said you were initially thinking about being a school psychologist, but then switched to social work. I'm sure a lot of students are in the same boat, figuring out what kind of program is right for them. Like, how did you come to the realization school counseling wasn't the right fit and that the social work was the right fit for you?
Well, I learned from my experiences with going to the school counselor that it wasn't as impactful, or I didn't have that much time in my life to go. And I did ask a lot of the students at the Ojeda Middle School if they felt like the school counselor was able to help them a lot. And they said they rarely saw them.
Hmm.
So I thought the way that I can help more children would be by working in the hospital space, because not only are those children impacted when they're there, their parents are as well, and I can help both of them, rather than just barely getting to see the students at a school.
Yeah. Wow, so I'm surprised. So the students were telling you they hardly ever see their school counselor, and that was one of the factors that played a role in your decision.
Yeah, I think because of how busy they are in lower education is just because they have a lot of activities that they're making the children busy with. I don't think they have enough time to just go to the school counselor unless they're requesting it specifically.
I see. Sounds good. So I'm also kind of curious about like your personal interests. You told me one of your favorite books is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm so curious, why do you like that book so much?
It made me think about the aspects of the world that I don't understand as much, especially the scientific aspects. The entire time I was reading the book, he was basically talking about astrology and a lot of things that have to do with engineering and electrical engineering. And so it was really interesting to see that side, because I'm not really used to that side, especially with my coursework. It's more to do with the emotions that are individuals are feeling, and less than like the actual like scientific side. So
Mhm.
it was interesting to see that and see how it could play out in the setting of finding other planets with alien life.
Oh, how interesting. Um,
Mhm.
and so then are you an avid book reader and like to read books all the time?
Yes, I used to be too busy, but I've gotten really into it lately. So I've gotten really into sci-fi because of that. It's really interesting how realistic everything is, because they are subjects I have learned previously in some of my science classes at UT.
And so how many hours a week would you say you do like pleasure reading like that?
I try to do it in the morning while I'm getting ready for the day. So usually, if I have an audiobook on, I can have around 2 hours of reading a day.
Wow, that's impressive. So then
Yeah.
you're reading maybe like almost 100 books a day? I mean, not a day, in a year?
I could. I believe I could, because I wake up like around 6 a.m.
Oh,
So I
wow.
could if I have the audio on.
Okay. Um, I'm curious about what advice would you have for future research assistants who may be joining my project?
I would advise them not to let their self doubt stop them from taking opportunities. that was what made me progress as a research assistant and be able to apply myself in so many aspects of the project because I didn't let myself think that I couldn't do something. Even though I did have initial doubts, I just pushed those away.
Okay, sounds good. And what questions do you have for me that you may want to have me answer during our interview?
Well, in honor of you pushing towards a new part of your project to Project Dual, I was wondering what was most difficult in planning your new research plan,
Mhm.
and also what was most intriguing about your previous findings.
Okay, so I wanted to answer the second part of your question first, the intriguing things about my previous findings. The thing that is really intriguing to me about my previous findings is how resilient people are and how there are such variation in the type of bilinguals that exist in our research. So we have different types of bilinguals. Some bilinguals are termed efficacious bilinguals because they are doing it very frequently. They're very proficient in both languages and they feel a lot of positive experience doing it. And then we have another set of participants who feel nonchalant, where they don't really care about being, bilingual or doing translation for their families. Others are ambivalent, where they feel very positive and negative. And others just don't like doing it and feel very burdened by doing it. And so we identified this group of efficacious language brokers or bilinguals early in our study, and I've been just shocked at how well they're doing and how resilient they are in so many different areas because we assess things like their cortisol functioning. We assess things like their marijuana use. We assess things like their mental health outcomes, their externalizing behaviors, how they handle discriminatory experiences, and how they experience and handle stress on a day to day basis. And across so many different outcomes, the efficacious language brokers are just doing incredibly well. Like they are just, doing well in school. They are doing well in terms of their mental health, their physiological health. I mean, to me, like they're superhumans. And so even when they're experiencing, negative events like discriminatory experiences, we would measure their cognitive functioning, and they're still very efficient in the face of adversity. And so I am so intrigued by this group of efficacious language brokers or bilinguals, and I want to learn more about them, and I keep studying them, but it is just such an intriguing group to have discovered in my research. And of course, as I'm always trying to plan follow-up studies and writing grants to be able
Mhm.
to continue studying them. And then, of course, as Project Seed came to a close and we finished data collection, when the participants started our study, they were, on average around 12.5 years of age, in middle school. And by the time we finished Project Seed, they were in their 20s, early 20s. And, our logo and everything, it just was outdated because it was like little kids holding parents' hands. And so it just didn't work anymore. So we had to switch to Project Dual to understand bilinguals more generally. And so for me, the most difficult part has been how much time it takes to launch a new project. That it is, just creating Google accounts for the project and creating new website and creating a new logo and figuring out how to recruit research assistants and participants. It's a lot. And, I did it about 10 years ago when I started Project Seed, and then to do it all over again, there's like more things out there to think about, and, more security, privacy things, settings built in. So it's a little more harder to, for example, to create a Gmail account for the project. And so it's been a lot, but it's, so rewarding because we get so many incredible research assistants like yourself, Danette, who's been with me from seed to Project Dual, and the transition has been smoother than expected, but again, just so time consuming.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't even realize that making a new logo would be a part of that process, but
oh my God, it took so long just to create a new logo, Danette. We had to spend literally like 2 or 3 weeks just figuring out which logo we had to go. So I had a research assistant assigned to create a logo, and she gave us like 30 options to look at. Yeah,
wow.
yeah, it was a long process to even create and select the logo.
Yeah, okay, okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind next time I think about starting research.
So we're coming to an end to our interview with you to feature you as our December uh, Project Dual RA of the Month for 2025. Do you have any departing words or any final wrap up that you may want to say to our audience?
Oh, yes. Please support Project Seed or Project Dual. And I hope more participants and more RAs will like to join because this research is such an important part for many people's lives.
Thank you so much. So again, everyone, this is Danette Hidalgo for RA of the Month for Project Dual for December 2025. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.